UPSC CSE, State Public Service Commission and SSC Combined Graduate Level Exam and also the CLAT examination. So do visit AKS IAS Academy and also the website of AKS IAS Academy. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security and also the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session will certainly help you to crack prelims and mains examination, because throughout my session I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, and these keywords and the key phrases will certainly make you identify the factual, analytical and conceptual questions which are very useful for the preliminary examination, and also while you are imbibing the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, therefore your answer writing would be precise and concise and you would certainly score higher marks in the mains examination. So therefore my session, that is at AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis, will certainly make you sure that you are having an edge over others and score higher marks in the mains 2020 as well as secure or crack prelims and mains 2021. So please do follow my entire session at AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis, and we will look at today, that is the DNA of today, Daily News Analysis of 31st October 2020. And before we get into the topic, there is a quote of the day, and the quote of the day is: don't watch the clock, don't watch the clock, do what it does. So do not just watch it, but do what it does. What does it do? It keeps going. So you also keep going. Do not just look at watch and then think what is happening. No, keep going forward, thereby you will attain what your goals are, your success are. And then definitely I would say a very good morning to everyone, very good morning to all, and a warm welcome to everyone who is in the live and also in the live chat. Gauru Naidu, D. Suvarna, Mohammad Razak, Raju Megawat, Suresh, and then Pantangi, Sri Kumar, Vamshi Krishna, all of you a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. Now we'll focus at the DNA of the newspaper. So the newspaper very clearly talks about the active cases of the SARS-CoV-2, which it says that it has fallen below 6 lakh after 85 days. So definitely we will focus at the number of active cases of the COVID-19 disease, which are certainly the graph is falling down, it is declining in regards to the active cases. So when we consider the active cases as on August 6, 2020, it was 5.95 lakhs, and when we compare this August with October 30, 2020, that is yesterday, it is 5.94. So definitely after a 3 months time, 3 months duration, for the first time the active cases have fallen below 6 lakh, that is which the below 6 lakh mark was on August 6, 2020, wherein it was 5.95, and then later on it surged very high, and now because of various guidelines and by the Union Health and State Health Ministry and then district officials, local officials, all the frontline workers together and also citizens definitely trying to follow the guidelines issued by the Health Ministry to restrict the SARS-CoV-2 virus and to bring down the COVID-19 active cases, which was 5.95 lakh on August 6, 2020, and now after 3 months it has fallen down to 5.94, that is in regards to active cases. So the keyword here what you need to focus is active COVID-19 cases. Active COVID-19 cases is the keyword, and this active cases, it comprises only throughout an entire positive cases. If you look at the entire positive cases in the country, it comprises, the active cases of COVID-19 comprises of only 7.35%, wherein the number, if you look at, convert it from percentage to number, it is 5.94, that is 5,94,386 cases of active, wherein the active cases is now in a steady decline. Steady decline, that means there is recovery of cases. There is recovery rate, or the recovery rate of the SARS-CoV-2 infected cases are high. That is why the active cases are declining. Active cases are declining because the recovery rate or recovery cases are increasing. Active cases are decreasing because the recovery cases or recovered cases of SARS-CoV-2 is increasing, and thereby if you look at India tops in the entire world. India is the country which has maximum number of recovered cases globally. This is also a positive sign because globally the recovered cases, India is the top, and also India's active cases have fallen down. Comparing it with what we had in the month of mid of September, and then comparing it with the end of or the last week of penultimate day of the October 2020, definitely we are below 6 lakh for the first time in 3 months. And you have the difference between the active cases and the recovered cases. Definitely the difference between the active and the recovered cases is increasing. That means recovery rate, national recovery rate is now, the India's national recovery rate is 91.15%. So if we focus in the month of July, August, it was 40 to 50%, and now October 31st or October 30th, it is now 91.15% the national recovery rate. Thereby it is a good sign that the recovered cases are increasing, and the entire recovered cases amongst the 91.91%, the recovered cases are 80% in 10 states and union territories across the country. And if we focus in regards to the state wise, Kerala has the single day recovery of 8,000, and then followed by Maharashtra and then Karnataka with 7,000 recovery cases every single day. At the same time, Kerala also is reporting very high number of new cases of an average of 7,000 cases, and the new cases which are being reported is followed by Kerala, it is Maharashtra and Delhi, around 5,000 new fresh cases every day. So if you look at, Kerala is also top with maximum number of single day recovery, and Kerala is also with high number of new cases with 7,000 each daily cases, each day daily cases. So Kerala is certainly now at the core of the entire country, that the new cases have increased because of the Onam festival week. Onam festival week, we have seen that the health ministry has made it very clear the cases in Kerala have surged or spiked because of the congregation by the people of Kerala in regards to the Onam festival week. Now before I get into the next, so here what are the keywords what you need to focus is active cases and then recovered cases. Here in regards to positive cases, active cases, positive cases, recovered cases, these are all the keywords which you need to focus and have the entire idea of it, and then national recovery rate, and then single day recovery, and then new cases single day. Kerala is top both in regards to. So you need to focus in these regards how the information can be analyzed. And before I get into the next topic, I would say very good morning to Anil Kumar, Navina, Azmat Khan. A warm welcome to all of you to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And there is another news which talks about new wage code. So a new wage code which the central government has brought in. Now this bars in the sense it restricts. What does it restrict? The bonus of the employees. So how does the bonus of the employees? By the new wage code, by the code on the wages of the employees. How does the new wage code bars or restricts the bonus on employees? it does restrict whenever there is, that means the employees are indulged in this sexual harassment, whenever there is an sexual or sex abuse charges on an individual or sexual harassment on an individual. So the provision based on the code of wages which the government has recently framed rules, this will create a kind of restriction on the employees to restrict or to cut short the bonus dues from the employers. So definitely the new wage code, the provisions in the new wages code which they have come up with framing of the new rules will be very clear that the employers will lose the bonus which they are supposed to get if an individual is convicted of sexual harassment. If the individual is convicted of sexual harassment, then that individual will be banned for the bonus dues. So this is the code of law wages which the new norms have been laid down, and now this annual bonus dues is replacing the new code of wages, is replacing the Payment of Bonus Act 1965. So what you need to focus here is the new code on wages, the bill or the act which has come into act. Now that is replacing the previous act called as Payment of Bonus Act 1965. So you have an act on the bonus of the individual, the workers, and those individual bonus would be now cut short or banned or restricted if that individual is convicted of sexual harassment or sex abuse charges. So by the code of the provisions in the code of wages is now replacing the existing Payment of Bonus Act 1965. This is again crucial for the prelims perspective, and the new code on wages is expected to become operational once the government comes up with the notification, or it notifies, and it includes the conviction for sexual harassment. It will now include this keyword in the new code on wages, that is conviction for sexual harassment, and that once it is included in the new code on wages, that will act as a ground for denying bonus payments or payouts to the employees who are indulged in sexual harassment or who are facing sex abuse charges in an organization. Please do understand here, it will be very useful information in regards to the short notes for mains examination. In regards to the new wages code, this will be in regards to the sexual harassment. It could be again based on the women issues. We can look at it and then you can write or you can use this, and then Payment on Bonus Act 1965 will be replaced by the new code on wages. Srikant Yadav has joined. Very good morning to you, Srikant Yadav. And as per the extant laws, what do you mean by extant laws? That is the existing or the surviving laws. Which is the one existing? That is the existing one is Payment of Bonus Act 1965. So the existing or the existing law, as per the existing law of 1965 Bonus Act, bonus dues are now barred only in cases of employees who are dismissed from the organization on the basis of fraud, violent conduct, theft or sabotage. So what are the four reasons wherein the bonus as per 1965 Bonus Act, they are being barred from or restricted from providing the employees the bonus is when they are involved in any fraud, when they are involved in any violent conduct, theft or sabotage. Sabotage means destruction of employer's property. So when an employee is destructing or has caused any damage to the employer's property, that is called as theft, or that is called as sabotage. So in these four instances, the earlier act, that is 1965 Bonus Act, were barring the bonus of the employees, but now the new code serves an additional deterrent from the Prevention of Sexual Harassment Law of 2013. So you have this new code on wages. Now it will create a restriction of providing the bonus to the individuals who are framed by sexual abuse charges or convicted of sexual harassment, along with the existing Prevention of Sexual Harassment Law 2013. So these two are very, very important. One is the law, the other one is the act. So the new Code on Wages Act is the one 2020 which you need to focus, and the second one is the existing one, Payment of Bonus Act 1965, and the third one is what you need to focus is that the new Code on Wages Act 2020 is in addition to the existing one, which is Prevention of Sexual Harassment Law of 2013. So these three you need to focus as a keywords. When you have that, you can write a short notes, a very constructive and very impressive answers in regards to the women empowerment or on the sexual abuse on women. So as per the POSH, that is the Prevention of Sexual Harassment Law, there are guidelines that the firms or the companies are required to form an internal complaint committee. So as per the POSH law guidelines, firms or the companies or organizations are required to form a committee that is called as internal complaints committee to inquire into the sexual harassment complaints, in regards to the sexual harassment complaints. And the rules under the new Code on Wages should clarify whether the individual has been convicted in regards to the sexual harassment, wherein that will be investigated by a committee which has been formed by the firms or the organization, that is called as the internal complaints committee, and then that will come to a conclusion whether the individual's pay compensation to the victim is to be given or not. Here in this case, the three keywords are very important, that is Code on Wages Act 2020, Payment of Bonus Act 1965, and the third one is the Prevention of Sexual Harassment Law of 2013, wherein the employer can be saved and a complaint can be filed in an internal complaints committee, wherein that will provide a kind of hindrance or a restriction on the one who is being charged on this sexual abuse. Okay, Sri Kumar is talking about the Indian Penal Code sections. Yes, definitely I will take once I will take up that, how it will be pertaining to the protection of women protection in regards to the sexual abuse. I will take up once. Probably I cannot fit in now, but I will take up, Sri Kumar. I will definitely. And there is another news which talks about import barriers will not be perpetual. What do you mean by perpetual? Perpetual means which is not, perpetual means permanent. So the Niti Ayog Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar has said a statement or have made a statement is that the import barriers will not be permanent. Import barriers, that means barriers means restrictions. So imports means the goods which are entering into India. That means India, when it is importing few goods, So the goods which are imported to India, that import barrier or restrictions, what we have it now because of the face-off or the skirmish between India and China, wherein Chinese products entering into India from different routes, not directly from China, into India imports, but what China is doing is, China is having their companies in Nepal, for example, or Bangladesh, or else in regards to even Pakistan or Sri Lanka or Myanmar. So they will have their companies in these countries, and that particular company will be registered in these X, Y, Z, A, B, C countries, and from these countries the goods are imported into India. But actually they are the Chinese goods. So because of the relation between India and China, which is deteriorating because of the face-off between India and China along the LAC, what the government of India has done is, they have imported the Chinese products, not just which are coming into India or importing into India from China, but also from other countries wherein the Chinese products company have their origin in different or India's neighboring countries. So Niti Aayog Vice Chairman has said, now because of that, what we have gone ahead with the restrictions on the imports, those imports will not be permanent. That is what the entire concept of this. And the Niti Aayog's Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar has made it very clear that all the tariff protection, because of these import barriers, there is tariff protection. This is a keyword here again. Tariff protection is a keyword, economic keyword. So tariff protection has been taken into consideration by the Niti Aayog, by the government of India. Why? To protect the local manufacturing in India, or the indigenous manufacturing units. Indigenous manufacturing units were protected so that the goods which are imported will not be totally flushing into India or totally dominating in India, disturbing or creating a problem to the local manufacturers in India. So there are tariff protection. So tariff protection is to what? To promote local manufacturing in India. Now they will come up with an inbuilt sunset clause. So what is this clause? What do you mean by sunset? That means the companies which are actually into a non-performing asset, which are not doing any profits but are in losses. Sunset, sunrise, sunset. Sunrise is profit, sunset is losses. Sunrise is profit, sunset is losses. So definitely now that will be in as an inbuilt sunset clause, so that what the government of India is definitely emphasizing is self-reliance mission, and that self-reliance mission, when we are talking about, that means we are protecting the local manufacturing units through the country's self-reliance mission. This is again very important keyword for prelims as well as mains examination. SRM, self-reliance mission. So when we are talking about self-reliance mission, that is part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan scheme or Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan package. And when we are talking about protecting the local manufacturing, that doesn't mean that we are protecting or we are into the protectionist approach or we are a closed economy. That is what the Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar is saying, that when we have this tariff protection to protect the local manufacturing because of the self-reliance mission, that doesn't mean that India is or Indian economy is a protectionist economy or it is a closed economy. It is not. Please do understand, because we are protecting the local manufacturing unit by having tariff protection. That doesn't mean that that means Indian economy is protectionist economy or a closed economy. That is what he says. And we have also looked at a concept and keyword that is called as PLI scheme, 15 fortnight ago, that means almost 2 weeks ago, we have discussed about production linked incentive scheme. This I said this will be very important for conceptual understanding in regards to the economy, Indian economy. So what is that scheme? That is production linked incentive, PLI scheme. So the government is now saying that the PLI scheme, which has initially started for the manufacturing pharmaceuticals, devices, medical devices and electronics, which were part of the Atmanirbhar package, is now extended to another 6 more sectors. Now that another, from 6 it will be extended to 9 or 10, and right now we have that PLI scheme is now linked to only 4 sectors at present. PLI scheme is now linked to only 4 sectors at present. It will be increased to 6, up to 6, from 4 to 6, and 6 it will be increased to 9 to 10 sectors. So this is again very conceptual understanding, so that you will understand the importance of the keyword, that is the scheme of the Finance Ministry, production linked incentive. That means you will get incentive only when you go ahead with the production, and that right now it is involved, or it is to the 4 sectors right now. It will be extended to 6, and then further it will be valid to 9 to 10. And this is all because of what? This Self-Reliance Mission. This is a keyword. So please do understand the importance of the keywords and how you can link it with the conceptual understanding of a subject, and how better you can write an answer, short notes in the mains examination. So the keywords here are Self-Reliance Mission, Protectionist Economy or Closed Economy, and then Atmanirbhar package. And this self-reliance will give domestic entrepreneurs the best situation to move forward, or it will support financially. And what the country is saying is, or Niti Aayog Vice Chairman is saying is, we are definitely wanting to attract the FDIs and also create a kind of faith and trust who have already invested in India. So we wanted to attract the FDIs. That is what the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is certainly trying to attract the foreign investors to come and invest in India when they are trying to move away from China, or else the European companies which have invested in China, and when they are wanting to move out of China, India is inviting them to come and invest in India. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is creating a confidence to the foreign investors to come and invest in India, because in various circumstances India is far better. That is in regards to the logistics, infrastructure, more flexibility in land and labor reforms. That is what is very important, because even in the first here we have discussed about the new wage code. Definitely there are reforms being made in the land and labor, also logistics, infrastructure. Why? Because we wanted to attract the foreign investors, that is the FDIs, into India, and also protect the existing foreign investors who are investing in India. So this protectionist approach won't be perpetual, that is won't be permanent, and we are not protectionist or closed economy. And definitely the incentives will be multilateral trading rules framework agreement as per. So definitely it will be, now it is to the 4, it will be extended to 6, and then later on 9 to 10. And the statement was made, all this was made by the Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar when he was addressing a conference, that is a Confederation of Asia Pacific Chambers of Commerce and Industry. So the concentration was in regards to the Asia Pacific Chambers of Commerce and Industry. And there is another news which talks about Malabar Exercise, naval exercise to kick off next week. So we have looked at this because this Malabar Exercise have started just as a bilateral, and then it was extended to trilateral. Now it is quadrilateral. Now it will be quadrilateral because India has accepted the inclusion of Australia into the Malabar Naval Exercise. So the first phase of Malabar Naval Exercise, which is scheduled from November 3rd to November 6th, will take off, or it will be taking place in Visakhapatnam coast with India, Australia, Japan and US. India, Australia, Japan and US. The Malabar Naval Exercise will take off in next week. That is, the first phase will be between November 3rd and 6th of Visakhapatnam coast, and the second phase will be from November 17 to 20 in the Arabian Sea. This is very, very important. The first phase in the Bay of Bengal, the second phase in Arabian Sea. This is how you need to focus, how the naval exercise is trying to have the first phase in Bay of Bengal, why, and then again in Arabian Sea, why, and what is that importance of Australia now joining the trilateral Malabar exercise, previously to quadrilateral Malabar naval exercise now. And definitely they will go ahead with the military games, and in the first phase there would be participation by Indian Navy, United States US Navy, Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force and Royal Australian Navy. And these are all four very important, because when you are talking about the Navy or the defense, so which are the one which have been participated in the naval exercise or quadrilateral Malabar naval exercise, that is from India, Indian Navy, from US United States Navy, Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, and from Australia it is Royal Australian Navy. And the Malabar exercise, as I said, it has started as a bilateral exercise between India and US in the year 1992, and then it formed a trilateral in the year 2015 with the addition of Japan. So initially 1992, 2015 and now 2020 with Quad, that is inclusion of now Australia. And in the first phase it will be US guided missile destroyer, you can see it, that is, along with that you have the long range frigate HMAS Balat, and then you will have Japanese destroyer JS Onami. So it will be, the participation will be US, Australian and Japanese. And along with that, if you look at Indian side, from Indian side you will have INS Ran Vijay, stealth frigate INS Shivalik, and offshore patrol vessel, that is INS Sukanya, and then fleet support ship INS Shakti and submarine INS Sindhuraj. And this, along with that, you will have an advanced jet trainer Hawk, long range maritime patrol aircraft P-81, Dornier maritime patrol aircraft and helicopters, which will be participating in the exercise. So what you need to focus from a prelims point of view or UPSC prelims perspective is, from India's side, INS Ranvijay, INS Shivalik, INS Sukanya, INS Shakti, INS Sindhuraj. But the twist here is that what you need to focus as a successful civil servant aspirant is, what is INS Ranvijay? It is a destroyer. What is INS Shivalik? It is a stealth frigate. What is INS Sukanya? It is offshore patrol vessel. What is INS Shakti? It is fleet support ship. What is INS Sindhuraj? It is submarine. So this is important, because there will be definitely a possibility of the question being framed in the prelims in regards to the match the following. You will have all the INS on one side, and they match the following in regards to whether it is a destroyer or stealth frigate, whether it is a destroyer or stealth frigate, or else in regards to the patrol vessel or the fleet support ship or the submarine. So this is very, very crucial for your conceptual understanding and for preliminary examination point of view. Please do make a note of this. And there is another news which talks about China gives up for strategic period. So it is focusing on a a period of length, how it need to shape or how it need to have a aim or goal for the different period of times. So definitely it is it has announced, that is CPC, Communist Party of China's Central Committee has announced 3 goals which it wanted to achieve, and then that is the strategic period it is now focusing for 2025, 3 goals to be achieved by 2027, and the other one is by 2035. Definitely they have a long term targets. China or the Communist Party of China at the annual conclave or the summit, they have gone ahead with a long term targets which will boost their innovations and military strength. Please do understand, the main long term targets is to boost the innovation of the country and their countries, China's military strength to boost, and this is called as an important strategic period of China which was concluded in the annual conclave, and then it has announced 3 goals to be achieved by the year 2025, by the year 2027, by the year 2035, and that they wanted to fulfill its ambition not only at home but also abroad. And then Bhushanam, Srinu, Sai Pawan, a warm welcome to 3 of you to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And this is the 14th 5-year plan, that is from 2021 to 25, which is the first goal of 2025, second 2027 to be met, third to be met by 2035. So the 14th 5-year plan starts from next year, that is 2021 to 2025, wherein in the 14th 5-year plan the Communist Party of China is emphasizing on boosting domestic consumption, and innovation, is focusing on national security, is focusing on defense modernization plan. So definitely 2025, it is the 3 which it wanted to focus, that is domestic consumption and innovation, national security and defense modernization plan. And it wanted to go ahead that before 2027 centennial of People's Liberation Army, they wanted to go ahead with this, and by 2035 they have a longer term economic blueprint. They have the economic blueprint which they wanted to come up with big leaps in economic strength and technological prowess. That means they wanted to be very strong in regards to economy and in regards to the technology. So what is the 2 keywords here are a big leap in regards to economy and in regards to technology. So it wanted to grow economically, it wanted to grow technologically. Economically and technologically, China is having a vision 2035 which is a long term economic blueprint, and definitely the Chinese GDP will cross 100 trillion yuan, that is 15 trillion US dollars by this year 2020 itself. And India, the government of India is focusing on 5 trillion US dollars. And now China wanted to fulfill it by this year itself, 15 trillion US dollars. And by the new economic blueprint, which do not announce a specific GDP target, but they have announced that they will have the China's GDP of crossing 15 trillion US dollars by this year. So certainly there is a strategic period which China has now concluded in the annual conclave, by which they have come up with announcing 3 goals. One to be achieved by 2025, next by 2027, and third by 2035, and that is the Vision 2035 longer term economic blueprint. Okay, actually I feel that I will discuss that. Now we will make sure that we will recapitulate the DNA, wherein we are focused in regards to the health point of view, that is SARS-CoV-2. We are focused in regards to the recovery cases, active cases, positive cases. This is again pertaining to the sexual abuse or sexual harassment. We are focused the Payment of Bonus Act 1965 and a law in regards to the Prevention of Sexual Abuse 2013 law. These two are very important, and this the government is focusing on the Self-Reliance Mission. This is another one, or Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan scheme. And then Malabar Exercise, definitely it will take place, the first one in Bay of Bengal and the second phase in Arabian Sea, which will be Australia will be included. And a strategic period by 2025, 2027 and by 2035, which is a long term vision plan. So I hope this was a very important, knowledgeable session both for prelims and mains examination, and I would thank you all and a good luck. Be confident and give your best shot, and then stick to your, let you have the consistency in regards to preparation, stick to your schedule, and then take care of your physical and mental health. And then do like the video, share the video and subscribe the video of AKS IAS Academy, and also visit the AKS IAS Academy website, and then do subscribe the Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is of Advanced Knowledge System. And Shalini says 7:30, but what I would feel is that 6:30 would be appropriate. Why? Because from 6:30 to 7:30, if you are winding up the daily news analysis, what will be is from 7:30 to 8 if you can take a break, and from 8 you can start your day, and your day will be extended for another 1 hour. So that is what I am planning for the next prelims 2021 for you all. That is for the civil servant aspirants who are listening to my or following the AKS IAS Academy daily news analysis will be benefited by extra 1 hour in a day. When you start your day daily news analysis by 6:30 to 7:30 maximum, and then that 1 hour you can allocate for any other subject, rest of the 1 hour followed by. So that is what I am actually wanting you all to be benefited. Fine. So I would say a very big thank you to all, and then see you on Monday. Thank you very much.